And now it says we're live. It's a lie. Hey, YouTube, I'm Rick Smith, and welcome to Forever Sorting with my main man, Kevin Aloysius Hinkle, Esquire the Third. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Hey, everybody. Energy is high today.
It's palpable.
Energy is high. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Forever Sorting, our podcast dedicated to the Lego hobby, and which we are currently chewing our way through my episodic tale of my life, which just happened to be that's how we decided to do this.
Yeah, no. So a long time ago in a land far, far away, I met Kevin at a thing.
Yep.
Recap. Okay. No, and sorry, Kevin. And I said to Kevin after I met him, I'm like, you know what? The community needs you. The community needs your story, your voice.
I like that. I like that Freudian slip though that you had in there. The community needs you. I like that. It's just
did I? No, not me. You think that was an accident, Kevin? No. But I said they need your voice. They need your story. They need to have understanding of where you came from, what you're doing, and where you've been. I said, you're on the live streams, and that's cool because I saw him over on Reed's live streams and some other folks. That's Hope Castle for you guys who don't know who Reed is by his first name.
Right.
And I saw him some other places, and invited him onto my show because it's always the same time, never the same name. But
yeah.
But I'm working on my brand, and I'm just going to hashtag Pink Bucket Nation everything.
Well, and so I've only known you for 2 years now. And in those 2 years, I've seen it go from Pink Bucket Nation Happy Hour.
Yep.
To just Lego.
Yep.
To late Lego.
Yep.
And then from what you tell me, it was a homage, but it was new to me.
Right.
The Fluff and Fold.
Oh, that was the one that started it all on Monday mornings.
Yeah, so we had that. And then I think now we're just Pink Bucket Nation, I think.
We are back to the full on, yeah. And I think hashtag Pink Bucket Nation is either going to be the start of every single video or stream. And then the other name, because now apparently, because I typed in hashtag Pink Bucket Nation into YouTube, and all of my castle videos showed up because I'm hashtag Pink Bucket Nation Castle, but I'll leave a space, leave the castle there, update, and they're all popping up. And so I'm like, well, let's put all of my media under that one horse.
You know what I miss?
What, Kevin? What do you miss?
I miss in the old days, which is not that long ago. But in some of my earlier exposure to Pink Bucket Nation, Pink Bucket Happy Hour, Pink Bucket Nation Happy Hour.
Sure.
That everybody, like the first couple minutes, were wearing pink buckets. Like I miss that kind of like.
That did happen. I guess it has to do with the Poobah not wearing his.
Well, if you're not doing it, then no one else is.
That's it. I do not. There's the Poobah bucket there. This is a backup, so I got that one right there. Is that doing anything for you, Kev?
It is. I'm feeling it already.
This is the big one, but down here we got. Oh, here's the OG right here.
I like that the big one that our friend Brickbender Underworld wears it sideways.
Oh yeah,
and
like
it's
pirate. Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of like a Napoleon, like it's a Napoleon hat.
Nice.
So, but I was just as you were talking,
man.
I was reminded that back in the day when I first started catching the streams that you were doing, everybody had the buckets on for the first, 10 minutes, and then they all came off or whatever. But
they're tight and uncomfortable.
Sure.
that is the only issue with being a member of the Pink Bucket Nation and having a bucket is that they are uncomfortable.
That is the burden you have to bear.
Yes, but that's okay because we love it.
Exactly. So maybe we can bring that back at some point. I don't know.
I mean, well, where's yours, Kevin?
It's up in the corner back. I can't even. There's stuff here. I can't walk right here.
See, Kevin, when Kevin put his up on the shelf, that's That's the real reason why we don't wear it anymore. It's because of Kevin.
It's because I hung it up.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be in the background of all my shots.
And now that's why he has this angle.
Yes. So, hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forever Sorting. Hopefully you've enjoyed our witty banter.
Is it witty?
It's witty to us.
Okay.
So, welcome back. We're here again to keep the tale going. For those of you that are not familiar or just haven't been listening for the last 45 episodes.
This is episode 47, I think.
It's 46 episodes. My name is Kevin. You can find me online at kevinahinkle.com. That is my website. You can follow me on social media if you wish outside of this program at Mr. Kevin Hinkle. I am a freelance artist. I'm an artist for hire. I'm always looking for cool opportunities to design for you guys. So you can find my portfolio on my site. You can also follow just my artwork at Mr. Hinkle Draws. Definitely appreciate you guys following me along the journey there. As we're talking today, I'm actually prepping some stuff to sell, some Lego sculptures to sell.
I'm sorting.
And Julian is sorting, which is essential. Yeah. But in addition to the places where you can find me, you can also find awesome Lego-inspired T-shirts I design with clutch from Bricks on the Dollar. If you go to bricksonthedollar.com, you can find Lego-inspired T-shirts I design. We have some available via Amazon, and it's actually really exciting. I just checked it yesterday.
Oh boy!
All the old designs are live. Old meaning it's more than 6 months old. The old designs are up. You can buy them as T-shirts. You can buy them as tank tops. You can buy them as long sleeve shirts. You can buy them as hoodies. You can also pick numerous colors. You can also do like the shirts where like the sleeves are one color and the shirt's a different color. I think it's like what, baseball tees, I think is what it's called.
I call those, yeah.
There's a lot of options, folks. So definitely check it out. We've got a ton of designs on there. A portion of every sale does come to me. It helps me pay the bills, put food on the table. So I appreciate it. But that is something to check out. We also are still offering the monthly subscription service. So if you just want to get the shirt delivered straight to your door every month, you can sign up for that. And the next shirt being shipped out is going to be Halloween themed.
Oh,
spooky for the month of October.
So they call it like spoofier now, or what is it called now?
Spoopy.
Spoopy. That's it.
That's the thing.
That's a thing.
So I appreciate you guys checking that out. Head over to bricksonthedollar.com for more information. And last but certainly not least, I have a comic series I make for Lego fans called Bricks in the Middle. I would definitely appreciate you guys checking that out, bricksinthemiddle.com, or on social media at BITM Comics. That is about Lego fans. It's for Lego fans. We release a new comic as soon as I draw them. So as soon as I have a new comic, it's out. We finally have burned through all of the backlogged comics I had already made. So now it's like, so time to make some new ones. But that comes out as often as we can make it. The website also has some cool merchandise on it. If you're interested in getting a Bricks in the Middle t-shirt, you can find that on the website. And hopefully very soon we'll have our enamel pins, our 1x8 printed bricks, and our minifigs on the store as well. So yeah, here we are for another episode.
Yeah, big shout out to Brick Smith for getting all those up there while Kevin was talking.
Big shout out to.
And you're welcome. And
scene.
Kevin, how you been?
I've been pretty good. I've been busy, which is normal for me.
No, hey, folks, when he says that he's been busy, we barely have time to record.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, Kevin is always on the run.
I am always on the run. So, for any of you guys that have been following me on social media, you should know that I have been spending weeks, if not months, preparing for my first show as an artist to have a table.
Which is exciting for us here at the Forever Sorting. Kevin's making it big time.
I'm really excited and nervous. Yeah. So this is Comic-Con for Kids, which is run by Chad Collins, who also does Brickfest Live. So he reached out to me for his brand new show. It's actually in the same place as Philly Brickfest. It's in the Philly Expo Center. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want an artist table at Comic-Con for kids?" And I've been thinking about trying that forever, for years. Actually, I've been thinking about trying it, but I just had never pulled the trigger on it. And so I figured, man, this might be the chance, right? This is the catalyst.
This is the time.
So he reached out. I got actually a really good deal. I paid $95 for the table and 2 passes for the whole show. I think that's a good deal. I don't know. I think it's a good deal. So I took it, and keep in mind, I've never done this before as an artist, as like a vendor. So I had nothing ready. So I'm like, all right, I'm diving in. And this was months ago. I made this arrangement months ago. And so I said, all right, I need to plan stuff. So I sat down one night, late one night. The whole family was asleep. I was in the kitchen. I took out a piece of paper and I said, what the heck am I going to sell at this show?
What the heck?
And so I'm like, all right, well, I think I'd like to do some stickers. So because I see artists selling stickers all the time. So I sketched out a bunch of stickers and I said, what would be really easy? Easy is a relative term. What would be very easy to do and where I could bust out a bunch? And I said, you know what? The face project. I've been doing these faces. You know, I've been drawing these faces with kind of a certain style with the half moon eyes. And I said, you know what? I could do a bunch of faces based on like actors and cartoon characters. So I said, let me do 10 of those. I'll do 10 stickers of faces in my style. And I said, I got to do prints because that's the lifeblood of any artist at a show. Print, not the artist formerly known as.
All right.
Prints as in I go to the printer. And so
I knew what you meant, but I wanted to mess you up anyway.
Well, so
that's how we do it.
I knew I had to have some prints. I was like, I have to have art that I have drawn and printed out because every artist does. That's what you do. So I went through and racked my brain and I had a bunch of different ideas, but I'm also trying to be cognizant of how much time I have because, you know, I am a freelance artist. So jobs are coming in constantly.
Yeah.
So I have to prioritize when do I work on prep for the con versus when do I work on the job of the day.
Right.
And so but I was able to create 10 different face stickers. They're all done. They've already been ordered and I already have them in my possession. I was able to create 4 different posters. They've already been ordered. I'm just waiting for them to arrive. And I also figured I should do some Lego sculptures.
Yes.
So I have Lego sculptures that I'm finishing up right now. They're not very large. So I'm working on Link from Legend of Zelda. So you can see it's not very big. And I'm also going to take the enamel pins from the comic series. I don't think there'll be a lot of bricks in the middle fans there, but still, I have them, so I should take them. So I've been doing that. And then also kind of in the background of getting the work ready to sell, I also had to get the stuff that you need to have at a show ready because I didn't have any of that stuff before.
Uh-oh.
So what does that mean?
What are you talking about, Kevin? You said we got to get stuff.
The stuff. So what's the stuff?
What's the stuff, Kev?
I didn't have business cards.
Wait, what?
I'm like, oh yeah, I should
have business cards.
It's like I should probably have business cards. I didn't have a banner, like a banner that has your name, you know. And that's, you know, really kind of again base level stuff for like an artist at a con.
Must have for the convention going artist.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I don't have a banner. I was like, how the heck do I even display my prints? Like, do I just put them on the table? Yes. Okay. So I'm like, do I just put them on the table? I mean, I guess I could.
You could.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I should put the Lego sculptures on the table and hang up the prints on like something. Yeah, so I've been spending like weeks on like ordering supplies, you know, changing my PayPal account. My PayPal actually was still a personal versus a business account. It's now business. I've switched it over to business so I could also get the PayPal card reader accessory, so I can make sales. I had to apply for my sales tax license for the state of Pennsylvania. So I've done a lot of work into this, folks. I don't know how things are going to go. I have put literally thousands of dollars into this over the course of everything, ordering the stickers, ordering the business cards, ordering the prints, getting the plastic sleeves to put the prints in, getting the banner. I mean, yeah, at least $1,000. So I'm hoping. Obviously, some of those purchases were a one-time thing. So I'll reuse them over and over again at other shows I plan to go to. But let's see how it goes. I'm hoping for the best. If you guys watching and listening, if you're in the Philadelphia area, especially if you have kids, come by and check out the show. Hopefully it's a fun experience, and you can see me. Come by and say hi. Also, our friend Joey, Maniac for Bricks, will be there with me. He's going to help run my booth.
Joey?
It's going to be. He'll be there helping run my booth with me so that I can actually leave and go to the bathroom and eat and stuff. So, yeah. So I've been busy doing that. That's been taking up a lot of my time. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. We are, I think, 2 weeks away. I think 2 weeks away.
Is it 2 weeks?
I think so.
What's the date? What's the actual dates?
It's the second weekend of October.
The second weekend of October.
So we are a little more than 2 weeks. It's the 11th and the 11, 12, and 13. So we're close though, folks. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing mostly.
I love it, Kevin.
So, and I appreciate
you've been doing other stuff too, though.
Oh, so many things.
Yeah.
So many things. Obviously we record. We do this. We do this all the time. I've also been working on freelance jobs left and right. A lot of cool stuff there as well. I've still been doing a lot of work for Eclipse Graphics. So if you guys are fans of Eclipse Graphics, they just had their big 10-year bash, big celebratory event, which is kind of cool that they've been around for that long, for a decade. And so I did a bunch of the artwork they use for promotion. So there's the Clippy. Clippy is the name of their mascot. Clippy is the floating yellow head. I did a lot of Clippy artwork. So Clippy was blowing a noisemaker with a party hat. That was my artwork. Nice. I did a big brick built number 10 that had what do you call it? A cursive word years next to it.
Nice.
So I did that, and those things were given out as stickers. They were given out as buttons. So I did a lot of that stuff. That was cool. So if you guys participated in that, thank you. That was some of my artwork. What else?
I don't know. By the way, Kevin can't see me. I'm distracted. I got a Instagram message from a juggernaut in the community offering up some pink brick to the castle.
A juggernaut.
And I'm over here fangirling still. I apologize, Kevin. But continue.
Are you going to tell us who?
You'll have to wait to see the video.
Okay. I mean, juggernaut is a big claim.
Yeah. No, that's definitely the correct title for this person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. How many Instagram followers?
Not so much on Instagram as YouTube.
All right, that's fine. I know how that goes too.
Yeah, killer. One of the biggest.
One of the biggest, ladies and gentlemen. One of the biggest. All right, cool. So
sorry.
No, it's all right. So here we are. I know we've been rambling on, and I know some of you.
Reed, this is a regular episode.
Don't worry, it's not.
We beat the 19-minute mark that he gets angry at. So good.
We've surpassed it.
No, we reached it and 19 minutes now.
All right, good.
Dodged the bullet there. We know Reed's still watching.
Get on
with the show, Kevin.
We've dodged the bullet. So welcome back. Last time we were talking about how things once again had changed in the team, as they always do, right? That's just normal. Talking about me getting a new boss and some of the things that change with that. We talked about some of Keith's changes to the team, such as how we unveiled products and then how the product unveilings got taken away from us, how we switched from not necessarily having a uniform throughout the team to having a uniform, and what is that uniform going to be. We talked about Keith actually stepping in and taking over a show in each region. So kind of cool.
Yeah, I love and hate Keith at the same time.
I know. It's fine. That's kind of how I felt too. So in 2014, one of the things I did not talk about was specifically which shows I went to in 2014.
All the shows. Hashtag all the shows. He went to all of them. He went to every show that was in North America. All of them.
All the shows.
And some in South America. He went some in England. He went some in Canada. What?
Yeah. That's about right. So one of the other actually huge things that Keith did, which again I want to say this was a good call. I think this is a good call. Is he pushed me to think a little bit less about the United States and a little bit more about my area as a whole. And as I told you, I don't necessarily think I was too off the mark for thinking about the United States, just because the United States had the most amount of lugs.
Yeah.
The United States had the most amount of shows. The United States had the largest area of AFL activity. But also, remember when I took the job, I was North America Community Coordinator. That was my job. So like I was historically focused on the United States and Canada because that's what I was brought in to do. So the other areas of the world, Central and South America, were just kind of like, whoops, guess what? That's yours now. It wasn't really like any proper expansion of duties. It certainly was not a promotion. It was like, hey, we used to have this other guy that did that area. We got rid of him, and we're not going to backfill that role. So you get to take over this area. So I don't want to say that I was like mean to Latin America, but I definitely wasn't as attentive to them as I was to my other areas. And so Keith pushed back on that, and he said, hey, I think you need to spend a lot more time with areas outside of the United States because that's where a lot of your focus is. And I said, okay, all right, that's fair enough. And he had said, I think you need to go visit some events that are there. And I think you need to get closer with the Lego offices that are over there. And these were things that I just never thought about. So Keith came at this from a perspective of more integration with the company, more integration with the marketing offices. What do we do from Lego side? Whereas I'm coming at it from the community side, like what do I do for the fans? And I still think that was truly what my job was. It's like I'm there for the fans, I'm not necessarily there for the company.
Yeah.
If I can help the company, I certainly will. But I'm here to represent my external stakeholders, and it just so happens my external stakeholders are Lego enthusiasts. So I often compared it to like the account managers. I would tell people I feel like an account manager, except your account is Target and yours is Toys R Us and yours is Walmart and mine's the AFL community. Like I would say this a lot. I'd say like I don't see how we're any different. like you're at the table banging your fist on the table saying, well, Target wants this and they need to have it. It's
right.
Like, okay, well, I can bang my fist on the table and say the AFLs need this and they demand it. Like, and that's, I felt like it was a good analogy. Did people agree with me? No, never. They never agreed with me.
Of course not.
But I often thought like, oh, that sounds like a decent analogy. So Keith had said in this year, we're in 2014.
The year of our Lord, 2014.
The year of the Lego film, which I mean, it's very important.
Wasn't everything awesome that year?
Everything was very awesome that year. Very awesome.
I'm sorry, everybody.
No, that was
enjoy the veal.
For those of you that are really invested in Lego and like even like look at like the financial statements and stuff, 2015 when Lego released the financial statements for the end of year results for 14, that is when Joran V did his song and dance on stage saying everything is awesome. Because the company had made so much money that it was like, I mean, literally the CEO sang and danced on stage. Like that is kind of ridiculous.
That is a lot. That's not how they do it over there.
That's not how they do it over there.
That's not how they do it. Okay.
And I remember it like making the rounds where it was like, like news outlets would be like, Lego Group CEO sings everything is awesome as financial results roll in from 2014. And it's like the little gif of Joran just like doing a little like shimmy like this. And you're just like watching it over and over again. You're like, that's our CEO. All right. I mean, it's great that, he's got a personality and he's not like a stiff suit, but it's interesting. So
Very much so.
Very, very interesting. So Keith said, I want you to visit a fan event in South America, and I want you to visit the office there. So I had to start really pouring time, a lot of time actually, to figure out the community and figure out the company's positioning across Latin America.
Yeah, that's completely different than it is in North America.
It is.
I imagine America and Canada are close.
Yeah.
As far as the company line goes, as far as how they act, behave, but like, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, everybody. Brickfest, Japan.
Yeah.
Their shows are completely different than ours.
Yeah.
And super sexy.
Yes.
Just throwing that out there.
So,
hey, I'm a fan first, man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's all right. So it was very different, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Like I kept taking, or I learned that I was taking so much of the North American processes for granted because I felt like every single thing was so complicated for Latin America. Like me just shipping them a box was complicated.
No.
I was like, why can't I just ship them this box? And they'd be like, well, because it's going to Latin America, so you need to fill out this customs paperwork. I'm like, okay. I fill out customs paperwork for Denmark and for Canada. And they're like, yeah, but you see, it's different here because FedEx doesn't operate in Latin America.
What?
And it's like, okay. It's like, so we have to use FedEx, and then FedEx passes it off to like DHL or a different company. And I'm like, you've already lost me.
Yeah,
and so it was very complicated. A lot of times, like, again, shipping stuff would either cost a fortune. Like I could ship like a box of Lego sets to Brick World, and it would cost me, I don't know, $50. And I would ship that same box of Lego sets to Lima, and it would cost me $300.
No, that's not okay.
And I'm like, man, why is this so expensive? And it was just because it just costs more. It costs more money. There was a lot more paperwork that had to be filled out. Usually, whatever couriers Lego was using, at least in the U.S. office, were not operating in the Latin American countries. And then again, they're all different countries.
Yeah.
So me just like, I mean, this sounds so dumb, but I need you guys to understand where I was at the time. Like me just sending them a letter.
Yeah.
Right. Just a envelope, a letter. I was taken aback because I didn't know how to properly address it to the different countries.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I know where the name and the street number and the street name and the city and the zip code. But wait a minute, how do I address this label to Uruguay? I'm like, huh. And so I'd have to sit there and like Google, how do I correctly format address on envelope to Peru, to Panama, to Brazil, to Chile. Because again, they're all different countries.
Yeah, they are.
So every single one has a different format.
That's crazy.
And I can't, like, I spent so much time. I'm not saying that it wasn't needed, but just so much time trying to get an understanding of how do I do what I've been doing in the United States and Canada? How do I do it for Latin America? And of course, I'm talking to the fans. I'm talking to the ambassadors that are there for all the clubs. And one of the main differences that I found in Latin America versus North America is that almost all of the countries had their own lug for the country. Also, for the most part, their countries are much smaller.
Yeah.
So, we think about the United States as this massive country. A lot of the Latin American countries, with the exception of like Brazil, are about the size of states. So it's like, you have a bunch of states making the United States. You have a bunch of countries in Latin America. Yeah. So it's not totally unheard of to be like, okay, this whole country has one lug. It's like thinking about one state having a lug.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but they all have different lugs. So I was talking to them, and I learned that Lego, I'm sure it's not quite the same today, but Lego didn't really have offices in all those countries in Latin
You
America.
think?
Yeah, so they did in Brazil. They had a Lego office in Brazil in Sao Paulo, and they had a office in Mexico. Mexico's technically part of North America,
Right.
but I kind of considered everything below the border like Latin America. I was like, all right, Mexico has an office, Brazil has an office, everything else in the middle, no offices.
Right.
So they would have third-party companies that Lego has partnered with to operate in the country. So if you didn't think my job was already difficult, it got a hell of a lot more difficult then. So now I'm no longer just dealing with Lego to Lego. I'm the Lego representative trying to talk to Grupo de listings of whatever in Panama because they're the Lego presence in the country.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand where they're coming from and trying to get them to understand where I'm coming from and get the fans involved. Like it just got exponentially more difficult.
I imagine.
But Keith was pushing me to do it. He's like, this is your country. You need to take better care of them. And I'm like, all right, okay, fair enough. So I spent a lot of time in that kind of stuff. And it was.
Did I miss something? When did they give you? When did they tell you had all of South America or all of Latin? Or
so I had been in charge of it.
Or did it just like? Was I not listening or what? What happened?
So I had it since Jim was let go.
Okay.
And so that was like that half a year, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already had it now for a year and a half. And I was talking to them.
Okay.
But I wasn't really doing a lot else because I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So shrug.
Right.
Which is not the best community management.
No.
But I also just didn't feel the fire to like handle it because I'm sitting there going, well, the United States and Canada just never stop. Like they just keep hitting me every second. And again, I'm sitting there in the back of my head going, do I really need to get totally vested in this? Because surely they're going to backfill the role and somebody else will take the countries back.
What would you think? Yes.
And that's what I thought. And so like, I never really like dug my heels in and like, let's handle Latin America because I just didn't quite think that was going to be something I was going to have to be doing forever. So I was like, well, let me keep the relationship decent.
Yeah.
And I'll keep talking to them and I'll do what I can. But if there's any like stumbling blocks, I'm not going to go terribly out of my way to fix them. Okay. But Keith was like, nope, this is yours, buddy. So fix it. So that was something that happened. And like I said, I can't like so many things that were just easy to do.
Yeah.
In the United States and Canada was so difficult in Latin America. Like there was things I couldn't ship, period. Like, no, you can't ship that. I'm like, why not? I mean, there was times that just drove me crazy, and it was like business. It was some of the problems of big business, like because Lego is an actual company, and it's like there was a lot of times where they would flat out tell me, "Sorry, you can't ship it to this person." Period. And I'm like, I don't understand why not. Like, charge my cost center and ship them this box.
Right.
And they're like, well, you see, the problem is that in this country, Lego has no official business entity. So the government is saying you're a business shipping a thing to a person, and that's not okay. So in this country, the government says, surely there is no rational reason this giant global toy company is shipping a box of things as a gift to this one guy. So they would like charge them an astronomical customs fee. They would like make the ambassador come down to their local like declarations office and say, explain to us how on earth Lego would send this to you, not expecting you to like sell it as like a vendor or a seller. Yeah. Because most of everything we gave them, most of what we always gave fans was free of charge. Yeah. It's like, this is basically a gift to you from Lego. You'll give them out to your lug members, give them out, whatever. And a Latin American country is not buying it. They're like, no, we don't believe that you're shipping this guy $2,000 worth of retail toys because you like him.
It's a shame that life has to be like that.
It is. It is a shame. And you know, and I don't want to get too like political. And
don't you dare! Don't you? Not here! No.
But it is common that in a lot of, especially the smaller Latin American countries, there's a lot of corruption. And
It's not.
there's a lot of corruption, and there's a lot of people where, I'm not even going to lie to you, I would ship boxes to a club, and the ambassador would go down and say, like, look, Lego sent this to us as a gift. The customs officer would not believe them.
Right.
And they would hold it and then charge them a bribe, like a fee. And you're not supposed to do that. That's illegal. But in that country, I can't do anything about it. I've already shipped it out. And so then the ambassador would be like, well, we got all the club together and we took a collection so that we can go pay the bribe to the customs guy to get our Lego set.
Oh, God.
And I mean, of course, I would bring these issues up to the people in what is it called? Our global distributions team.
Yeah.
But they would be like, well, why are you doing that? I'm like, what? Like they would like, I mean, everything was a fight, Julian. Yeah. Everything was a fight.
Just be thankful, A Falls of America, Canada, and England and Australia. Look how easy we have it.
It's just like, I would always take these things for granted, going like, wow, it's so easy for me to just ship this to Illinois or Texas. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of times where I would tell the shipping people at Lego saying, I bet you'd be easier if I just took this box, went down the street to FedEx office and just said, let me ship it. And they say it would be easier because you're a person, and it would be person to person.
Yeah.
Because we are a business and we are a big business, it looks more suspicious. And I mean, there was times I did that. There was a few times where like, I didn't have the time to fight. I didn't have the time to like go through all the paperwork because, again, don't forget, I'm still running the United States and Canada.
Yeah.
And they don't ever stop. It's a freight train that has no brakes. And so I'd be like, I don't have the time for this. There was at least twice where I took my support, I threw it in my car, I drove to the local FedEx office, and I said, hi, my name is Kevin. I am a Lego fan, and I am shipping gifts to my fellow Lego fan in the country of Panama. And I would use my Lego corporate card. I would charge it. Obviously, there would not be any shipping discount because I'm not a company using it.
Yeah.
Because yes, Lego has or I don't know if they still do, a contract with FedEx as their U.S. shipper. Okay. So like you have like a discounted rate because you have a contract with them. So I play the full retail. I walk in there and pay full retail, and so full retail to ship something to a Latin American country is hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
And so, but I did it because I'm like, you know what? I don't have time. So I did.
I don't blame you.
So that was happening through the year of 2014 as well, was trying to understand Latin America and also the Lego setup. So from the Lego side, as I mentioned, Lego Mexico has an office in Mexico City, which is very, very similar in a lot of ways to New York City. Like a huge, major populated, very, very like, up to date, fancy downtown. And then they have the factory in Monterrey. So they're like very far apart from each other. And then they have the office in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is also, to date, I think it's the largest city I've ever been to. It puts New York to shame.
Oh, really?
It is insane. And so, but they have a building, an office in Sao Paulo. All of the rest of Latin America, because it was with third-party companies, there was a very small team that worked in infield called the Latin American team, and I think it was like 3 people. And those 3 people were basically like account managers, and they dealt with all the other third-party companies across Latin America. So as I've mentioned before, Lego has a hub strategy. So they have 5 hubs for the world.
Right.
So infield is the hub of the Americas. So that means Lego Canada, Lego US, Lego Latin America, Lego Mexico, and Lego Brazil report to infield.
I'm going to cut you off. I have a weird question. Good weird question.
Yeah.
Why infield? Why not New York, LA, Chicago, or Atlanta?
Yeah.
Or even Miami for that matter.
Yeah.
One of those 5 makes better sense to me than a rinky-dink farm country?
Yeah.
Is it just because Connecticut and Billings look the same?
So it's a brilliant question. It's a question that has definitely been on that like
Brilliant.
top
Everybody.
No,
I'm smart.
brilliant. It is one of those questions that is on like, Kevin, what are the top 10 questions you've received 1,000,000 times?
Okay.
Infield, why infield is definitely on the top of that list. So I can only tell you what I've been told.
Okay. I love the company line. Go ahead, give it to me.
Well, no. I mean, so this
I
is
don't blame you.
This is what I was told by people that had worked in infield forever.
Yeah.
And also a little bit of what Jim told me when Jim did the research into that question before me.
Yeah.
So what I've been told is that when Godfred, so Godfred's the son of Ole's the founder.
Right.
When Godfred came to the United States, he was the one that brought Lego to the United States. He was flying from Billund into Boston because that's what you do.
Yeah.
You fly into Boston, JFK. Everybody does it. That's like a quick hop over the ocean. It is a major airport. And so he'd fly over to Boston, but he would drive to New York because New York was the, quote, toy capital of the world.
Right.
So he would fly to Boston, and then he would take the drive to New York. And that's probably about 5 hours because it takes me 3 hours to get to New York, and Boston's like 2 hours away. Right. So it's like about 5 hours. So he would drive over and over and over and over and over and over again from Billund to Boston, drive from Boston to New York, drive back to Boston, fly back to Billund. And so he was, of course, looking at Boston, and he was looking at New York as places to put a Lego headquarters.
Take Boston on in the top 6 there.
Yeah, but what he found as a humble Danishman is that those towns were too busy. It was too much. There's too much there. And so he really liked a lot of the farmland that they would drive through to get to New York. And it reminded him of home. It reminded him of Billund. It reminded him of Denmark. And so eventually they kind of put this map down, and they put New York and Boston, and they drew a line. And they said, what is right in the middle? And if you take a map and you draw a line from New York to Boston, Enfield, Connecticut is almost eerily smack dab in the middle. And so they said, let's explore here. And they did explore also in it's like Broomfield, I think, Connecticut, a little bit. Okay. And there was a building there for a very short period of time. But they settled on Enfield because it felt more like Billund. It felt quaint and small. They liked it. It was between New York and Boston, so they felt like it was kind of the best of both worlds a little bit. And that's what I've been told. So they settled on for that. And ever since then, to this very day, the true amazing talent of the Lego Group has in the United States has been like, really? I have to move to Enfield, Connecticut? I have never heard of anybody that's been like, wow, I really love that I moved to Enfield, Connecticut. Like, I've never heard anyone sing praises. I mean, there's people that, of course, that work in the building that are natives to Connecticut. And Enfield is so high up in the state of Connecticut that you are a stone's throw from Massachusetts.
Right.
So you have a lot of people from Springfield, Mass, that also work in the office. So you've got like the kind of Hartford, Connecticut, Springfield, Mass, and they all kind of come together at the office. And so, of course, there's a lot of native folks that, work in the office, but a lot of the like people that are really like influential folks that make a huge impact on the business, they're talent from all over the country. They move there, kind of like this guy did once upon a day.
You put your whole family and you put them in Connecticut.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
it's so small.
Oh,
it's so and here's the cruel irony. The Danish folks from Billund come over and they think Enfield's a major city. Like, it's not. It really isn't.
No. I would have gone with Boston, New York again.
Yeah.
Chicago,
And here's something that's even more ironic. Lego Education, which is a wholly different company, but Lego Education, when they first came over, They actually didn't have a presence. They partner with a company called Pitsco. It's like all about education and kids. So they partnered together. Pitsco had a office in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And so Lego eventually started setting up Lego education employees there, had a couple of desks. Eventually it turned into like a part of the office. So like Pitsco and Lego Education shared the office. And then eventually Pitsco filed for bankruptcy. And so kind of like our Net Devil story with Lego Universe. And so Lego Education's like, well, hold on, we can't let it go under.
Yeah.
So they bought basically Pitsco. All those employees turned into Lego Education employees, and Lego Education had an office in Kansas City. Now, very similar to Lego proper, people are flying all across the country. They're moving to Kansas. And they're like, Kansas City? I've never been to Kansas City. I don't know. But
I don't know about Kansas City myself.
I've heard from people that it's nothing to really write home about.
Yeah.
Is it's, again, far like small little farmland.
I will say that I've heard about Kansas City more than I've heard about
Enfield, Connecticut. Yeah, for sure. So there was a lot of people that complained, saying like, I really don't want to move to Kansas City for this job. Just like people complain about moving to Enfield. So eventually, after a couple more years of Lego Education having the old Pitsco headquarters in Kansas City, Lego Education changed leadership. They got a new CEO of their company. And he said, you know what? I'm sick of us. Like, why are we here? He's like, why are we here? So he said, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm sick of it. And so he single-handedly said, we're moving. So he shut down, and he put Lego Education where it is still today. Headquarters is in Boston, Massachusetts.
That makes sense.
And he's like, you know how much sense this makes? Like, we got the airport right here. We can fly right over to Billund. It's a major metropolis city that people actually want to move to and like are comfortable living here and feel like they have a good quality of life. And if we have to go to Enfield, I mean, yeah, it's 2 hours away, but whatever. And people were so happy. Like, they're like, wow, thank you. So Lego Education, with kind of a fresher mindset, was like, we should go to a major city like Boston. So they are currently in Boston. But sadly, a lot of the people, a good chunk of the people that worked there in Kansas City were native Kansas City folks. And so they were like, I don't want to move to a big city. So a lot of them left Lego Education. So they I think there was maybe out of the whole office, don't get too excited, is like 70 people. Like compared to Enfield, which is almost 1,000. The whole office, I think, had maybe 5 people that came over with it. Everybody else was like, sayonara. But I digress.
No, that was my fault. I tanged the hell out of you there on that one. You were saying something about the hubs.
Yeah.
And I just dropped the ball and just said, hey, what's going on?
That's all right. Tangents are good because you guys
left off. Yeah.
You guys can learn new Lego facts. So I realized that, everybody's reporting to Enfield anyway. So that's when I was finding who to talk to about stuff.
Yeah.
So I got integrated a little bit better with the Latin America marketing team. I became very much a problem child for global distribution because I was always having problems. And they were like, we don't understand why you're always trying to ship stuff to people all across Latin America. I'm like, because it's my job. As for support from my leadership, from Keith and Tormund, it was very non-existent. They were like, all right, well, keep at it. I'm like, and another thing that's very important for you guys to realize is at this point still, in 2014, I'm still not a manager. Like, I am a senior community coordinator. And so in the like hierarchy of Lego, I am very much like a lackey, right? Like I am a coordinator. A coordinator says it all. I am a coordinator.
Yeah.
A lot of the other teams, no offense to the coordinators, a lot of the other teams in Lego, the coordinators are the people that grab all the clipboards and get coffee for the meeting. Like, that's what they do. And so like me going into these meetings with like global director for distribution, like they're like, why are we talking to you? Who's your boss? Like, I got a lot of that because they thought like, well, surely I'm just doing something that I don't have any business doing.
Right.
And so I'd be like, hey, so my boss is in Billund. And they're like, oh. And so I was constantly in this really awkward position because here I am in infield trying to do my job.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, I'm kind of looked down on because I'm a coordinator, even though I'm a coordinator who's in charge of half of the world. But I'm a coordinator. So in that kind of stereotypical hierarchy, I'm kind of looked down on.
Yeah.
By directors and managers, and I'm a problem child. My boss and my leadership is Danish. So they're on the other side of the world. And as I've said before, or maybe I haven't said before, but there's some very, very deeply rooted things culturally with Denmark, such as when 4 o'clock comes around, they are done. You will not have a meeting with them after 4 o'clock your time. And so I'm sitting here in an office, or 4 o'clock their time.
Yeah.
So 4 o'clock their time for me is like, what, 10 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
So it's like, once we get to that point, we're not having a meeting with them. So I'm in this weird, awkward place where I can't, like, they want to talk to my boss, but my boss is not available.
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, boss, I need help. And they're like, oh, we'll just tell them to call me. Like, but they need to call you after 10. And so, and of course, these teams that I'm working with are American-based teams, right?
Sure.
So the bosses, the directors, the managers are American. They don't need to stay late or come in early, and they're certainly not going to accommodate my boss in Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like my boss is not going to stay late to do a meeting. This guy's not going to come in early to do a meeting. Right. So I'm just in the middle going, everything sucks. Just like, and there was a lot of that because I'm like, I don't know how to fix these problems. And everyone's just kind of like, whatever. So
not my problem, your problem.
Yeah. So that's fun. So that happened. That was something I was working through the whole year. And I don't think I'm going to get into it today. No. But I did mention that I did go down to Sao Paulo. Visiting Sao Paulo, Brazil was my first Latin American trip as a community rep. That was my first time to go down there. It was amazing. Also terrifying. So that happened. Other events I went to in 2014. I went to Philly Brick Fest.
Hey,
that was my first time to go to Philly Brick Fest. It was the first time Philly Brick Fest existed.
Oh my!
So that happened. I went to Brick Slopes in Salt Lake City, Utah. That was also the first time that show had ever happened. So that was first. Guess what else joined the schedule? Brick Fair, New Jersey.
What?
So we had our first Brick Fair, New Jersey. So in the Brick Fair lineage, as I had mentioned, 2011, there was just Virginia.
Yeah.
2012, Alabama was added. So now there's Virginia and Alabama. 2013, New England was added. Oh my. So then you had Virginia, Alabama, and New England. And then here in 2014, we have New Jersey, and Todd was finally happy. Todd's the guy who owns Brick Fair. He was always aiming, from what he's told me, to have one show per quarter. That's what he wanted. He said that was enough work. He's told me he's never been interested in having like the 15 shows a year or the 18 shows a year. He's like, he wants one a quarter because he feels like that's healthy and comfortable. Yeah. And that each of them need to be successful, obviously. Sadly, 2 of those shows have really struggled to like get solid footing as successful. Virginia has always been highly successful, and it continues to be to this day. It's the flagship show. Alabama has also established itself very well as a very successful show. But
here's a fun fact, and you cannot pass over this. Those of us in the YouTube community have decided that, well, we're going to Alabama this year as a collective.
Nice.
So I don't know how much we will, as far as numbers, we'll be adding to make it bolster it and make it bigger.
Yeah.
But our coverage of it has already started, and it's January.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So Todd, know that.
Know this. Yeah. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, New Jersey, went to that for the first time. That was interesting. Brickworld Chicago, of course, went back to Chicago again. I did not that year go to Brick Fair, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
So as I told you guys last time, 2014 was that first year that Keith is like, well, Kevin, you're just going to too many shows.
Right.
2013 was that year that I killed myself, right? And went to like 13 shows. So now in 2014, I have rules. I'm told I can only go to 8, and then it switched to 6, right?
Right.
On me. I was like, I was able to finagle some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Brick Fair New England again that year, but I went kind of like off the record, I guess, because it was right there. It was like, it took me 2 hours to get there. So I was like, it's just stupid not to go. So, but I didn't charge anything to the company. I went kind of as like a private citizen, but I was still, of course, answering questions the whole time I was there, like I was a Lego rep.
Yeah.
But I just didn't go out of my way to be a Lego rep. So I went, but it didn't really count as one of my trips. But so I went. But Virginia, I mean, this was so hard for me. I had to pick which shows I'm not going to after I spent the last couple of years going to all of them.
Right.
And I'm like, who do I get rid of? So I thought that year, what to me made sense was to go to the first year shows to make sure they knew Lego approved of them doing this.
I got you.
That was my thinking then. Do I necessarily agree with it now? Not really. But then I said, you know what? I think it is important for Lego to be there for that first year, the christening of the first show, to shake the hand, say, yep, Lego appreciates you promoting our brand and doing this. Thank you for all your hard work. And just showing them that there's appreciation there. So the first year show was, Brick Slopes in Salt Lake City, Philly Brick Fest in Philadelphia, and also Brick Fair, New Jersey. Those were the first year shows.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, that's 3 of my allotments already gone. Like that's half of them gone. And so I was like, I have to get rid of, I guess I'm going to have to get rid of one of the big ones. And I really didn't want to, but there was other things too. Like I already mentioned, Keith told me I need to take a visit to my other countries. So I need to go to Latin America. So 3 of my shows are already taken from first years that I thought made sense. Latin America is another trip. Can't forget about Canada.
No,
that's another one. That's 5. That's 5 out of my 6 already gone.
Wow.
And so I'm like, well, what am I left with? So the thing I was left with that I went with was Brickworld Chicago. And it really was a toss up between Brickworld and Brick Fair. I was like, they're both the biggest shows in the country. Yeah. I mean, and that's not including BrickCon, but BrickCon is just limited by numbers. Because like they have like usually 500 and these 2 shows have 1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, it probably makes more sense for me to go to one of the shows with more AFLs to talk to.
Sure.
But I was like, man, Chicago, Virginia. I was like, this is going to kill me. And so that was the first year I did not go to Brick Fair, Virginia. Did I hear about it? Oh, I heard about it.
Did you hear about it?
For weeks, I got emails, I had phone calls, I had messages on social media like Flickr mails about am I going to Brick Fair? And when I answered no, why not? And that was usually something that always happened around the big shows.
Yeah.
Like when the season came up for BrickCon or the season came up for Brickworld, I would start getting the onslaught of, hey, are you going to be there? Because I'd like to talk to you about X, Y, or Z. And because a lot of people, for some reason, were not comfortable talking online or on the phone or through email. They wanted to talk to me in person.
In person, face to face.
And so I would get dozens.
Let's talk about it in person. It can work.
Yeah. And most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, it was stuff that I'm like, you really should have emailed me this. I'm like, this is not, like, we didn't need to have this talk. There was every now and then there was the one that I'm like, this is sensitive stuff here. Yeah. But most of the time wasn't that important. Or not to say it wasn't important. It wasn't like secretive that it needed to be like in person.
I got you.
So, but I heard about it and it was such a pain. I was like, nope, I'm not going to be there. And of course, all the people that were at the show were mad at Lego because Lego didn't show up. And these were things that I was trying to convey to my boss. I was trying to convey to the team. I was trying to convey to the business. I'm like, you guys don't understand, when Lego's not there, it leaves an impact, and it tells them that we just don't care. That's what it tells them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not flying in there with a $250,000 marketing activation booth. Like, it's me. It's like I come in there and it's just I. Like, I have a Lego logo on my chest. I have minifigure business cards that I give out, and I answer questions. But that signals something.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not there, and I was telling them, I said, it doesn't have to be me. Like, it could be anybody. But when Lego as a whole is not there, it is felt. It is seen poorly from brand perception. And I don't think that's the way you want to take.
Yeah.
But those concerns were taken and thrown away. So I was like, okay. A lot of times I was accused of just simply overreacting. I was like, Kevin, you're too invested with the fans. You think too much like a fan. You're too invested. You're too emotional. You're too emotionally connected. And so, like, I was constantly in a struggle to try my damnedest to just sound sterile and just professional in business, because I realized that when I did that, it got the goal I needed to get across accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to sit there and go, I don't think the fans like it when we're not there,
Right.
does nothing.
No.
It falls on deaf ears. But me saying, I think the Lego Group's brand perception takes a hit from our highest affinity consumers when the Lego Group chooses to not have an activation on site. That makes people listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is it stupid? Oh, I can't tell you how stupid. But it's something that I had to learn. So I'm sitting there in the course of this year. So much is happening this year, in 2014. I still have a new boss. I'm getting used to a new boss. I'm getting used to new changes in my team and my job. I'm getting used to working a different country, a different group, a group of countries. I'm getting used to learning the lingo to accomplish my goals.
Right.
And I'm still at this point, I don't know. I think I'm still holding out hope that they're going to backfill this role. I mean, it's very misguided, but part of me is like, Kevin, there's still hope. I also need to convince Keith now, because Keith's my immediate man. I need to convince him that I need help. That's it. So now the buck has been passed, right? I made my plea to Tormid. It was thrown out, and I was very disheartened. Now I have a new boss, which is kind of a backfill for Jim, but not really on my side. Like, it's a backfill in the sense that this is a manager that I report to.
Yeah.
But he didn't take any of my workload from me. So it's like that's the difference. So I'm like, I need to appeal to Keith and get him to understand what the situation here and have help. Yeah. So that's where I'm going to leave us at today.
Okay.
There's still a couple things I do want to talk about for 2014. I would like to talk a little bit about the first year shows I went to. So Philly and Brick Slopes and stuff.
Sure. Absolutely.
But that's where we're at today, folks.
Yeah, I'm still here. Look at that.
How you feeling?
I feel good, man. I love it. I love it. Sounds great. I'm enjoying the story. I am.
Oh yeah. So that's it, everybody. As always, I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble on. If you've got questions, throw them below. Any video, doesn't matter. You can hit me up on social media if you want. But I'm just trying to share the good word, just trying to share my experiences, and things I've seen and dealt with. And as always, it's purely from the point of education, from the point of just sharing my experience. It is not meant to be a hack job at any company. It's not meant to be that. It's meant to be a telling.
But Lego needs to be held accountable.
Julian has other motives that I claim I have no direction over.
Listen, at this point in my life, they make a very good product.
Absolutely, 100%.
And there's where my love.
And that's where we stop. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Julian is right over there.
That's Kevin.
I'm right here.
You guys, thanks for coming. And remember,
got to sort those bricks.
bye, everybody. We're still live.